as Pacific people, we truly understand how vulnerable our waters, lands, and sacred sites are. Guam has a long history of environmental racism that I'm trying to share with you now. And our right to self-determination and decolonization has been stalled for over 125 years now with U.S. occupation in Guam. The indigenous name of our island is Guahan. We have what we all have together, our land, our water. These are parts of our inherent rights gifted to us by our ancestors. And now we're fighting, we have 19 Superfund sites, 19 military Superfund sites on our island. I don't know if many of you know how small Guam is, but the military occupies 30% of our island. And far from being remedied, these harms are now aggravated by massive military buildup and expansion of the U.S. military footprint in Guam. They continue to violate our right to free and prior informed consent. And just like our brothers and sisters in Hawaii, we are also being priced out of our lands because of overseas housing allowance. We cannot afford to buy homes in our own homeland. So many of our people have to move away. It's almost like they want to wipe us off the face of the earth. And just recently, the Rear Admiral told us that many of the military lands that were set to be returned to the people as federally accessed lands are now going to be held because they need them to build up the bases for the war with China. The injustice must end. And I'd like to end with this. Our land was created, our creation story were two brothers, or a brother and a sister. And when the brother was this ancient spirit, Ponsen was going to go to the next realm. His sister Fotna took his eyes and made the sun and the moon, his eyebrows and made the rainbows, his back to make the land, his chest to make the sky. And Fotna, when she was about to go to the next realm, turned her body into a rock and broke open, and the first people emerged and went into canoes to go all over the earth. So in essence, we are all lost tomorrows. We are all Tatatanu. We're all people of the land. And so I would also like to invite all of you. This is such a beautiful day, and we want to see some of you come to Guam to stand in solidarity with us. We need you. We will be needing you because in the next year, the United States is bringing the Marines from Okinawa to Guam. They have cleared over 1,000 acres of limestone forest to build a new Marine base and a live fire training range complex where they will release 7 million ammunitions a year over our sole source aquifer that provides our island 80 to 90% of our fresh drinking water. They have applied to open burning and open detonation on ancestral land and over our aquifer. They are poisoning our coastlines. Right now, our fisher folks are finding fish with tumors in them at contamination sites. And culturally, we do not waste the fish we catch, we eat them. So we are eating contaminated fish. It can go on and on, and I can go on and on and on. But I need you all to think about this. Really, we need you all to think about Guam, to think about Guam, to think about the Marianas. Please don't forget us, and we need you to come and stand in solidarity with us.
But before that, I want to read a little message that was sent to us from some friends in Ukraine. Although you probably don't know, because the U.S. media will tell you this, that the majority of people who left Ukraine for another country as refugees to escape the war and the fighting have gone to Russia. Twice as many have gone to Russia as have gone to Poland. And just about as many that have gone to Russia have gone to all other European countries. But you won't learn that. In Russia, some of the people have put together, some of the Ukrainians have put together an organization, and they opposed the Kiev government. And they sent us a message. I'm only going to read a couple of lines of it because it's long, but it will go up online and you'll be able Dear comrades, the Union of Political Immigrants and Political Prisoners of Ukraine endorses your brave effort for peace in Ukraine. We wholeheartedly welcome and support the launch of a major campaign by the public of the United States and other countries for peace in Ukraine. In particular, we support your great event of March 18th. Our great and warmest wishes for success in your struggle, and with great wish for peace, the Union of Political Immigrants and Political Prisoners of Ukraine. The Odessa Solidarity Committee was formed before the most recent actions and fighting that have been going on in Ukraine to go to Odessa on May when the right-wing fascists burnt and killed about 50 people and wounded over 100 at the House of Trade Unions in Odessa. These people were protesting the coup that took place in 2014 in Kiev, and they were killed by these fascists that came from all over the country to Odessa to fight to do this. And so a number of us went to Odessa to support the people who each year come out and honor those that were killed in large numbers. Thousands of people come out, and the fascists mobilize to try to intimidate them in March. And we've seen on both ends, some of us have been there as international observers to protect them, and the Odessa Solidarity Movement was formed. Phil Alito is its chair. He is also the leader, one of the leaders of the Virginia Defenders for Freedom, Justice, and Equality. Phil Alito.
Watch out!
Okay. I understand they're going to cut the sound off on a very sharp schedule, so I want to make this quick. What you have heard about Ukraine, and I'm also going to time it because it's always the old white guys who talk to one another. There we go. I've been to Ukraine, been to Odessa, the second anniversary of the Odessa massacre. At least 42 people were killed when a mob led by openly fascist organizations drove them into the House of Trade Unions at Kulikov Square in Odessa and set the building on fire. And the police stood by, and the Ukrainian government has never allowed an international investigation. And 3 of us went there from the U.S. as part of a team of international observers, and when we came back, we formed the Odessa Solidarity Campaign, which you can read about at odessasolidaриtycampaign.org. My point today was to try to tell you about the repression that has been taking place since the right-wing coup of 2014. And that was one of the 3 elements that led to the Russian intervention, along with the steady expansion of NATO and the attacks on the people in Donbass who declared independence because they didn't want to live under a right-wing, anti-Russian, pro-fascist government. Since our visit to Odessa in May of 2016, thousands and thousands of people have been arrested. Many of them simply for expressing opposition to the government on social media. A editor of a local newspaper, Yuri Chukov, who I met in Kulikov Square, was arrested and charged with terrorism charges that are completely bogus, and I wish I had time to go into just explain to you. But we saw the fascist organizations, we saw the Azov Battalion, we saw the Right Sector, and these are the groups that came forward to fight the people in Donbass and are now being hailed as heroes, people who honor Stefan Banderas, the head of the Organization of Ukrainian Nationalists, who collaborated with the Nazi occupation and is now a national hero with a stamp, a national stamp dedicated to his honor, and his birthday is a national holiday. Please, you're here today because you don't believe the lies, but We are going to try to keep pumping out information that you can find in Odessa Solidarity Campaign. We demand stop funding fascists in Ukraine. And please, before you leave, pick up a copy of our newspaper, The Virginia Defender, which has been coming out for 19 years with an all-volunteer staff out of Richmond. There's 2 pages on our experiences in Ukraine and the current repression that's going on. Thank you very much. Stay together and please.
Before I introduce our next speaker, I just wanted to hold this up because unfortunately freedom is not free. We have to do what we have to do to make this possible. A lot of very generous people, put money forward to make it possible for us to be here today, to have this venue, to have these signs, to be able to have all the equipment we needed to live stream, to bring some people from different parts of the country who weren't able to make it because they're just working class folks trying to make ends meet. So as you can imagine, we need every dollar we can get, every quarter we can get, every $100 bill we can get, every $1,000 donation on Cash App we can get, every $2 that you might have. Reach down underneath the lint. If it's more than 5 cents, I'll take 5 cents too. That's all right. We'll put it all together, and when we come together, we can actually make a huge difference. Everyone doesn't have to have a lot of money for us to come together and have a little bit of money. We're gonna have buckets coming through here. You'll see these buckets. I don't know exactly what's on this sign. You can see there's a QR code there. This might not be close enough for you. For PayPal, there's a Cash App, $, no reward. We'll put this somewhere. I'll have somebody put this out, maybe on the way out or something like that, so that you can get this various piece. There's a phone number. You can text 202-953-3531. That's 202-953-3531. Please. There's buckets coming around. You're more than welcome. Thank you so much. There's a QR code, there's Cash App, there's the whole 9. But all your generosity is greatly appreciated. There is no, George Soros billionaire money, despite what you might read on the internet. It's just people like you. So we appreciate that 100%. So thank you, everybody. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here today. I do want to bring up our next speaker, and we're very honored to have him here. We had Bill Leon speak earlier. The Eritrean American community has been doing a lot to promote the work that we've been doing, around a lot of anti-imperialist issues, and really is a country that is truly targeted in the same way many of the other countries you've heard here are. And there are a lot of efforts going on to push back against the sanctions, to push back against the isolation. So from the Eritrean American Public Diplomacy Group, I want to bring up a man who will be able to say a few words with us.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What are we here to say today? No more.
No more.
No more to wars. No more to proxy wars. No more to wars of aggression. No more to sanctions. I am here after Yoel earlier came out and told you how Eritrea succeeded, what Eritrea was able to achieve. I would like to tell you why Eritrea was able to achieve that. And in order to give you a brief, in order to give you an understanding why, I'm going to give you a little bit of history. When the United States first came to Africa, the first place that they came in is Eritrea. The war of aggression in Africa started in 1941 in Eritrea. And this is something that a lot of people may not know. And it continued until the Ethiopian government took over with the acquiescence of the United States in 1962 to annex Eritrea. The struggle for independence of Eritrea started in 1961. And the reason Eritrea was completely, didn't have a chance to survive at all. Eritrea was able to come to the level that it is today for one reason, and that is because of the people of Eritrea determined. They said one thing, Hafash Yinka Yuwadaf Ita'ada, which means, Hafash means the masses. in Cantonese, let it be informed, educated, and organized. What that means, organized. And the Eritrean people were organized, and through that, they were armed, and they were able to persevere for 80 years, up until now. Even after independence in 1991, the United States, first with Bush, and after that with the Clinton administration, continued their proxy wars against Eritrea. Eritrea was sanctioned. And because we believe in that self-reliance, because we believe in the victory for the masses, because we believe in always being educated, being informed, organized, and being one. This is the only way we are going to be able to defeat anything that comes. We have to be informed what's going on. I can say a lot about everything that's happening right now and how it's impacting what Eritrea is doing. But what we went through is simply a miracle that we were able to achieve this, and that we are able to do it because we were united, organized, and we persevered. And this is what's being asked from everyone here. Thank you to the masses.
As you know, in the next few days, it's the 20th